Boy Review is now scripted.
Boy Review is now scripted, so this is going to be opening bit take 2.
This time we're recording.
And so I have got a snazzy new microphone, as you can see.
I can see, yeah, and our little Discord call, there it is.
Yeah, it's very nice. I got it with some of the money I got for Christmas and my Amazon voucher Christmas bonus from work.
Wow, your work here at Boy Review. I got an Amazon voucher as a bonus for all the work you do here at Boy Review, of course. Boy Review PLC.
You're my line manager. You're in charge of all the squiggly ones.
Yeah, the squiggly ones. I know what that means. Oh, the line manager. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I need to. I Whenever I listen back to Boy Review, I always hear bits that you make that I don't pick up on in the moment because I'm too distracted by Sherbet. Sherbet's my little rainbow plushy mouse that I keep on my desk, present from my girlfriend.
That's very cool.
I'm just looking at Sherbet like, line manager, yes. Slurp. Squiggly ones? The slurp is me drinking water.
Yeah.
Yee.
Let's do it. On to the episode.
We both went like that.
Yeah. I'm that guy. Get out of here. Everybody, to the show we like to do here at the weekends, or as you call it, Wednesday, is of course a Boy Review hosted by me, Hamish.
Mr. Ingalls, please don't shout in the corridors.
I'm sorry, Professor Snape.
Yes, you should be sorry, Mr. Ingalls. That's Severus Snape from Harry Potter there. Not a nice person as far as I can tell. But I've never read the books or watched the film, so I have no idea. I just know that he says, Mr. Potter.
A very good Alan Rickman impression there with Severus Snape. I think the jury's still out on whether Snape was a good or a bad guy. Some people would say, yeah, to both of those answers. It's a weird one. It's hard to tell. So we're not going to answer it here. We're not a philosophical program.
Yeah, I just went for something. I just wanted to do something with like a deep voice and
that's what you thought of. Well, we're not on this show isn't about deciding whether someone is good or bad. It's about deciding whether they're good or bad or anything in between. So we're going to leave that up to the professionals when it comes to the straight up good or bad.
I think
we're not the professionals on
first.
That. I do get to go first this week. So I was thinking this week, I'd quite like to try and see if we can do a bigger topic about it. This is our New Year's episode, obviously, so we might want to talk about New Year's resolutions. So we'll give time to do that properly. And I'm going to do a really quick review of a movie I watched yesterday.
Whoa,
it is the new Pixar animated film that is on Disney Plus right now. It is Soul.
Yes.
And for anyone that hasn't watched it, because it only came out on Christmas Day, December 25th. And so because of that, this is going to be a completely spoiler-free review. I think the trailers did give a little bit away, but actually I wish I hadn't known that information. I think I heard about it from Izzy's brother about one or two things from this film, and I was just like, it didn't ruin the experience, but I think it could be fun if you didn't know it. So I'm just going to go in with the review. So straight up, this movie is very good. I think it's hard to there are very few Pixar films that aren't amazing. I think it's a multitude of factors. Firstly, the story is one that you can really get behind. It's a classic Pixar storyline. You know, it will make you feel things, sometimes happy, sometimes sad. And it's also then accompanied by some stellar animation. I think I wouldn't say this goes anywhere near as far as something like Into the Spider-Verse, which went crazy wild with its animation styles, having so many different kinds. But particularly for, I'd say, a Pixar film, this did break the mold a little bit. You still get some of that classic sort of 3D style that they've kind of become known for, even if it's sort of got a different take and a different form to it. But they try and throw in some like 2D characters at points, and they work out how those characters really play into this world. They do these little snippets because obviously semi-spoiler, but I think it's kind of obvious the main character is a jazz player, and so whenever they get into the zone of playing, they sort of take you out of the moment, much like they do in Ratatouille when Remy is cooking or someone tries one of Remy's food, and they sort of get all these flavor palettes to it. They do something similar with the music.
My words. The way that the animation style is not always beholden to what looks like real life. So
yes,
people are they are able to express things outside of what is real. Yeah, like those emotions and those feelings.
And then you talk about real life as well, because there are times when this film obviously breaks from real life with some of its animation, but much of the film is set in quote unquote real life, and it's amazingly well done. Like it's not photorealistic to any sense of it, but it's still just beautiful, and it does feel like, you know, you're looking at, there's a bagel at one part that's been, you know, eaten, so you've only got like a portion of it left, and it seems so weird to be like, and this bagel looks so good, but it does look so good.
Love a bagel.
You just want to eat it.
That's what I think when I look at any bagel. I'm like, I want to eat that. Love bagels.
And then just the humor and the acting in this film is amazing. My favorite joke in it, which I don't know if it's meant to be a joke, but there was a reference to the pizza rat meme. There's just a rat carrying pizza at one point, and I'm just like, that's so good. I'd forgotten Pizza Rat existed, and I love like Pizza Rat. This film reminded me. But the acting is great. There are a few stars. Obviously, Jamie Foxx, who plays Joe, the lead character, and Tina Fey, who plays 22. They are both excellent in sort of in those roles, and they work very, very well together, sort of a duo. I know animated films can be a bit weird because I don't know if they would have recorded together very much, but the chemistry between those characters is very well written, and the two actors play those characters very, very well. I also want to give a shout out to 3 other actors who play supporting roles. Richard Iwade, who, you know, many people are coming to know now beyond his role in the IT crowd. I like how he's sort of gone from that and is just everywhere. It seems like he is very, very good in his character. Very, very good casting. There's a character called Terry, who's played by an actor called Rachel House. They are very, very good as well. And then finally, I think the best comedic character by far, and you have to look out for this, is played by Graham Norton, who has a slightly larger role than I anticipated. But again, not only is it very well acted, I just love everything about his character. Just it's hard to say without talking too much about it, but it filled me with joy every time he was on screen, and every time there's an opportunity for Graham Norton's character to be on screen, I was wishing he would, and he always arrived, and I just loved every minute of it. And I think that's just what Soul really is about. It's really an expression of life and everything you should love about it. And I honestly don't think I can say much more about it without wanting to give anything away. I just think it's a good film, and everyone should go and watch it.
Brilliant. That's a lovely succinct review there.
So if you have Disney Plus, it should be on your list. Forget zombies. Forget Avalon High.
Don't forget zombies. Don't forget zombies. Forget Avalon High and forget How to Build a Better Boy. You can forget those, but remember zombies.
Come back to zombies. Put zombies on your to watch later list.
Yeah,
and then put Soul at the front of your list, because even if you don't have Disney Plus, it's worth paying $7.99 for this, because unlike Mulan, Soul is free if you've got a Disney Plus subscription. So if you have paid whatever it is in your region for 1 month or however long you want of Disney Plus, you will get Soul included in that. You won't have to give anything extra, and
that's good.
I think
I wasn't a big
almost
fan
certainly
of.
worth to.
What was it, like 30 extra quid to watch Mulan?
Yeah,
Something like
it makes a bit of sense. They were trying to make money back from, it didn't get to go in cinemas, but yeah, it's obviously not great to sort of feel like, well, I'm paying to be able to do this. I don't feel like I should pay more.
Yeah, paying for the right to pay for something felt bad for some people, I think.
Yeah, but this is not that, and yeah, just I could just keep going on about how I like this movie, so I'm just gonna stop.
Brilliant. That's good, Hamish. I don't think we have to pad things out. Wonderful. I'm next. My topic,
Wilkie.
also plausibly not the longest topic. To leave a bit of room at the end of the show for our New Year's spectacular. Again, we're coming out on New Year's Adam. Again, we had an episode on Christmas Adam. Now we're on New Year's Adam.
No, I did delay the episode for Christmas Day. I don't know why I thought I'd do that, because plausibly that wasn't the best idea of mine, because I not many people watched it on Christmas Day because they have other things they do on that day. But I thought it would be a good idea in my head. Yeah.
So today, my plan was to talk about random name generators. Right? As a D&D Dungeon Master, these are something I use a lot because, as much as I would like to think that I'm quite a creative person, I cannot, to the extent that I need to, just produce names off the top of my head. So random name generators are incredibly useful for that, and I want to talk about them. So when I research a topic, now that I research my topics, my first stop is usually Wikipedia, because that will give me a nice overview. I can learn a bit about the history, a bit about the context, and that sort of thing. So I searched random name generator on Wikipedia, and I got redirected because there is no Wikipedia page for random name generators. There's one for random number generators, but random name generator redirects you to a album called Star Wars, which confused me because the album art is a cat, just a fluffy white cat sitting against like a green background, and it says Star Wars in like calligraphy font in front of it. And that confused me until I realized that this album, Star Wars, had a song on it called Random Name Generator.
Okay.
Turns out the band that made this album is called Wilco, which is what you sometimes call me. And so I was like, okay, this is fate. This is fate. So I listened to Random Name Generator by Wilco. And I'm going to give it a bad good.
Wait, I need to put this in the doc. So Random Name Generator, the song by Wilco.
Yeah, Wilco. We should tweet them, see if we have permission to use that, like a snippet of that song here. If we successfully tweet them and they say we can use it, it'll be here. If you didn't hear a song there, that means that we didn't get permission to use the song.
Or we might put it in another episode because this has a very tight turnaround in editing, so potentially they didn't see it.
We'll include it next week, or we'll tweet it or put it on Instagram or something. So I listened to that song and it's pretty good. It's pretty fun. And then I got back on task and I started thinking about random name generators. And Hamish, have you ever watched one of those YouTube videos that is like a you laugh, you lose, a YLYL compilation?
Yes, they are very, very fun to watch.
They are.
YL compilation. Now,
when you watch them, do you try not to laugh?
I often don't. I often, I will watch one just if I want to have a laugh or just see some funny videos. I don't care about actually winning the competition. Potentially, if I'm with another person, that competitive streak would come out of me. But if I'm just on my own in my room, I don't care. Because all I can do then is post a comment on a YouTube video being like, well, I didn't laugh.
Yeah, farm some likes. Grumpy. Hang on, sorry, what was that noise?
Grumpy.
Funny. Yes, not funny, didn't laugh. And that's something that I was reminded of. So yeah, here's the thing. A you laugh, you lose video is... in the ideal scenario, designed to make you laugh, designed to like break down your walls with like waves of funny content. I watch
Yes.
Wilbur Soot, a YouTuber I watch, does a lot of You Laugh You Lose videos, and he'll often say like if like he'll watch something that'll almost get him, and then something stupid will pop up because he does it with viewer submissions on Twitch. So people send him donate a small amount of money and they get to play a little video, and he'll say if that one had been funny, you'd have got me, because I don't think any one video is funny enough to make someone laugh. There has to be context. So yeah, like you said, like with a friend there, the friend being there can make you laugh more. That's why canned laughter's a thing. So if you're watching alone, it's not to tell you when to laugh, it's to like make you feel okay with laughing because other people, quote unquote, around you are laughing. So
yeah, that reminds me of, we are at my school, the headmaster, because I had two headmasters there. We had one that was there for like 5 years, pretty much. So most of my time, he was kind of like our canned laughter for shows, because he would come to all the performances we did. So often it would be like over a week. So we'd do like 4 to 5, and he would sit at the front and he knew when to laugh. I don't know whether he actually found them funny or not, but he did it. And he had a very loud laugh, and then everyone else kind of joined in with that.
Oh yeah, you've always got those teachers who have very loud laughs, and there is zero correlation with any other trait that they have. There's just some teachers. It's teachers, and I feel like it's like the same like really loud laugh that a dad will have. Like, you know how like some dads have really loud dad laughs, or like really loud dad sneezes. There's really loud teacher laughs and really loud it's history teachers have very loud sneezes.
I have not noticed that correlation myself, but maybe we can, that can be a
tweet,
boy review.
Tweet hashtag boy review and then hashtag sneeze if you think that any one demographic of people have especially loud sneezes, like history teachers. Okay. But anyway, so we're slowly drawing a circle around the point I'm making here. When you watch, these You Laugh You Lose videos are designed to like play out in such a way that they have the best chance of making you laugh. They, like I said, like they wear you down with like silly stuff, and then like will drop one of the funnier clips after some like they sort of soften you up and then get you.
Yes.
And so I enjoy laughing at them because they're meant to be funny. So I will sit there and laugh at them because that's what they've designed. That's what they've been designed to make me do. So back to random name generators.
Okay. So we've gone on a tangent so far. We've looped around the universe and just missed our initial point and gone to somewhere else.
We've come back to the main point here. I've written here in my notes, don't be beholden to your tools. I take this piece of advice for name generators, for the loot tables in D&D. The DMG has some tables to roll random loot on. No one cares, right? No one is watching you. Especially if you're the DM, if you're behind a screen, no one's watching you. You don't have to take what you are given. So if I'm trying to generate names for a skyship, for example, there's lots of skyships in my D&D setting. I'm trying to generate a name for them. I will generate 500 names and scrap them all because in my head I'm looking for something very specific. There is a tone that these names need to hit, and I cannot put it into words, which is why I cannot come up with the names myself. So I get a random name generator, and I will like 500 names, and I'll go through, and none of them will hit the spot, and I'll do another 500. Maybe one of them will hit it. So don't feel like the fact that you're using this generator means that you have to. That's one of the things I love, is that like you can just throw it. Using these random name generators is the epitome of throwing spaghetti at the wall and waiting for part of it to stick. Like, because they don't necessarily come up with good ideas because they are generated from a formula that there are either complete names that are put in a first name surname configuration. There are noun adjective combinations, or there are like specific phonemes that are combined to create names. There is no special significance to any individual name they give you. You can just click through them, and that's what I love. That's how I use them, and that's why I find them so useful. Is I can just throw stuff at my brain until I pick something out that is like, yes, that's the name, and then I can get on with my life.
Yeah, because again, at the end of the day, if you don't like the name that comes up or whatever, you can just hit the button again and it will produce something.
Yeah,
there's
no one
no
will
more
judge
effort you have to put in. No one will know,
No one will know. In particular, I would recommend a website called fantasynamegenerators.com. It's a very on-the-nose title, but this website is incredible. In in no small part thanks to the fact that it is run by one woman. Her name is Emily, and she has created this entire website.
There's a lot of things as well. Like you just because you go onto it and you think, okay, there's going to be some fantasy names, but you could pick on it, and then it's a list of at least 100.
Yeah. So there's fantasy names. There is then
races.
Real names for
Yes.
places in the world. I use the some of the like Maori or New Zealand or like names from that part of the world. I use that a lot for a certain place in my fantasy world because sort of based on Polynesian is what I'm looking for, like that like Polynesian area of the world. Names for there.
Mm-hmm.
There's place names.
There's place names.
Other names.
That's
where I get airships.
So many different things. Pop culture, which is quite cool. You could get one from like something. Oh, they do Ruby. What's a Ruby name generator? Okay,
There's,
I like that.
Specifically names for characters from Ruby.
No, it's like it just comes up with good ones. So because also a lot of people from Ruby are based on colors. So it's cool how they've just come up with names, but like sometimes really loosely based on colors. So you can get someone called Nyx, which is maybe short for onyx, or Hog, which is short for mahogany, and all of that stuff. Color in Ruby can get a bit weird.
Hello,
whereas you can get like
my name's Hog.
So like,
but yeah, this website is incredible. The latest update was in December of 2016, where Emily confirmed that the website has over 900 separate name generators. And that was in 2016. And like, this is like, she spends time every day going through like submissions of ideas for name generators, like more names to add to certain lists. And it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Wait, 900? I've got here on the homepage, it says there are over 1,300 name generators.
Oh, damn.
Maybe
I completely missed that. I completely missed that welcome page. Yeah. I don't know when that was updated. Yeah, over 1,300. And those are
name generators.
Those are only name generators. And then there are also description generators. So like something to like generate a description for like a suit of armor or a sword or something or a spell. This is one of the very few sites where I have my ad block. I have this site whitelisted on my ad blocking software. Because again, it's just Emily doing this site, and I'm like, you know what, Emily, you can have some ad revenue. I don't mind seeing adverts. When it's big corporations, I'm like, you don't need my money. You don't need more money from me. So I'm going to block those adverts. But on this site, I will do that. If I use the site a lot, so if I go through a particularly big D&D planning or world building session, I will make a small donation of like a few euros via PayPal, just because honestly, like this is so
good.
It's so good. It's so I don't know how to sort of sum it up, but there is so much content here. It's incredible.
Because sometimes as well, I think another thing that beholds itself to sort of RPGs, it doesn't really matter what genre it is, but let's go with D&D, which is typically fantasy. Your characters the characters that you might be running for can just go and do whatever. And so suddenly it's like, well, they're going to go, I had a plan for them to go and fight a dragon in a castle. They just want to go and drink in the bar. So now I've got to come up with a name for the bartender, name of some patrons, and a description of the bar. This thing can give you all of that.
Yeah, you just say like, hey guys, go take a 5-minute toilet break, and then you can just, because it's not the sort of thing that you can come up with. Like you might have a brainwave every so often. So I got really lucky with like the way my thought process panned out once, and the party went to a tavern. I didn't have a name prepared, and I just into my head the Ugly Griffin. I was like, that's actually a really good name for a tavern because there's a lot of military presence in this city, and the army uses griffins. So somewhere near one of the ports could be called the Ugly Griffin, and that's a funny title. And so I went for that. But under most circumstances, I would go through a couple of rounds of a name generator for the name of the tavern, for the name of the bartender, for some random patrons. And yeah, it's because those sorts of names don't come naturally to us, right? I can call someone Steve or Brian or Dave because those are names that I'm familiar with from real life, but like these fantasy names that hit the tone that I want them to hit for my fantasy world. They're fantasy. They're exactly that. They're not real, so they don't come naturally to me. So yeah, having these resources is incredible. And I am going to give this specific website, fantasynamegenerators.com, good. It's a good website. But the concept of a random name generator in general, right? Because I think this is the point. I'm going to give them a bad good, right? Then because they aren't perfect, and that's what's good about them. Because if they gave you exactly what you wanted first time, then they'd be good because there's no flaws there, because you get what you want when you click the button. But I think what another thing I love about them is that I will pick up other names while I'm generating names for one specific thing. So
yeah,
I found a name earlier today for a completely an NPC for a completely different campaign, and I made a quick note of it and moved on, right? And if these things were perfect, that would never have happened. So
you found the name you wanted,
and then I went on and found the name I wanted. Yeah, so that I found the name that I deserved, but not the one I wanted. I think.
Yes.
Is that the Batman quote? I don't know. The hero.
No,
I'm not the hero the city deserves, but I'm the hero it needs. Because the city is flawed and doesn't really deserve saving, but it needs to be saved or it'll fall apart. So yes, bad good for name generators, and that is what gives them their charm.
Okay, Jim Gordon says he's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now.
Oh, okay, I don't get it. Who knows? How about I'm going to go get a glass of water?
Okay. Because he's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now. So we'll hunt him because he can take it, because he's not our hero. He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight. That was, I think it's Jim Gordon. Here it is written down as Jonathan Nolan, who I don't think wrote The Dark Knight. I think it means Christopher Nolan. Why does this site have... Wait, is Christopher Nolan's real name Christopher Nolan? Jonathan Nolan. Is Christopher Nolan's... Oh, Jonathan... They did co-write it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Hey, Hamish.
Wilkie. I found out there's a second Nolan brother. So I read out the quote from The Dark Knight, and it's on this site called Goodreads, which often which has quotes from people from lots of different media, not just books. And credit it to Jonathan Nolan, who is not the character who says it. It's a writer. And I thought Christopher Nolan wrote and directed The Dark Knight. So Christopher Nolan has a brother called Jonathan Nolan and co-wrote many of Nolan's films. They co-wrote The Prestige, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, and Interstellar.
Okay.
So that's why this guy got credited with some of the stuff. I was very surprised. I think this guy also now works on Westworld. So interesting. Was surprised, but yeah. I was an uncredited writer in Batman Begins. That's a bit me. But yeah, so that I just got very confused because I thought, like, Jonathan Nolan, who is this guy? But, Wilkie, I think perhaps the reason why Jonathan Nolan wasn't credited on Batman Begins might have been one reason then he was then credited on The Dark Knight was because perhaps maybe his brother felt bad and made it a New Year's resolution to give his brother recognition for the work he does.
This year, I will give my brother more credit.
Well, actually, that works better for The Prestige, because in 2006, when The Prestige came out, which was just the year after Batman Begins, because The Dark Knight didn't come out to 2008, so potentially Christopher Nolan didn't make his New Year's resolution until 2008 by that metric. But in 2006, he was credited on the Nolan flick. So, that was a good New Year's resolution there, because it's good to give people recognition. And we have a bunch of other New Year's resolutions of our own. Or I don't know how many we have. I feel like you might have done another census, another survey trying to get people. I don't know how successful that was.
The Great Boy Review New Year's resolution survey. So a year ago, no, 2 years ago. 2 years ago?
2 years ago? 2 years ago? What's? I don't know what happened a year or 2 years ago.
When did I do breakfast?
Last year? This year? Earlier this year?
Earlier this year?
Yeah, it's been a long time, Wilkie. I was, earlier this year, back in January.
Yeah, because I remember. Yeah, I'd have stupid early mornings in our house in 2020. Yeah.
We lived together this year, Wilkie. At least we're part of it.
For a very short part of it, yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay.
For like a good few months.
Earlier this year, I was on breakfast radio at our university, and one of the first things I did, because I wanted to be really keen, because a lot of trust was being put. Because before then, I'd only really done like stupid late night D&D show. And I felt like a lot of trust was being put in me to do the breakfast segment, because that was like prime time. Prime time flashbacks. Breakfast radio was big, and I wanted to do a good job. So I put in some extra time before the first episode, and I prepared my first segment. I went out onto Warwick campus and interviewed people. I booked out a little microphone and I interviewed people about what their New Year's resolutions were, and I edited it together. And we played it. It was like a 10-minute segment on our first breakfast show, and it went really well. And then this year, it was still this year, this New Year's cycle that we find ourselves in, I find myself again polling people about what their New Year's resolutions are. This survey has 10 responses,
nice.
but they're quite interesting. So I feel like last episode was kind of boring because I just read out all the responses, in it, and it was very flat and there was no content. So. We're going to be brief with this content here, with the stuff we got from the survey. First question was very simple. What, if any, are your New Year's resolutions? Mostly, people want to improve their health, whether that be physical or mental. One. Yeah.
How many people wanted to improve their health out of 10?
We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 10.
That's most people.
A couple of...
By our numbers.
Out of those 10 responses, a couple of people were saying, I don't have resolutions at all. And we're going to get onto that. Because I'm actually in that group. I don't have any specific resolutions.
Okay.
There was one out of all of these that I really liked. And it was to do more reckless and secret good in the world. Now, I know that...
Who is this? Who was this person, Wilkie?
I don't know. It's anonymous. I can...
Wilkie, no.
I can find their responses out of everyone else's. So I know that do good recklessly is a quote, I think, from Taz as well, but to do reckless and secret good, to do good without, because both of those are like without a care for yourself. Like, do good recklessly, like, even if it's gonna like hurt you a little bit, do something good. And do good secretly, you're not gonna get any praise for this, but do it anyway. And I love that, because that's I think the energy we need. The next question was, if you don't have any resolutions, why not? Most of the responses were just, someone says we've suffered enough. Someone says stupid is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. I think it's a quote from one of the Far Cry games.
Oh no.
But yes, the person, our hero, who said do reckless and secret good, for the third question, if you do have New Year's resolutions, what are your chances of completing them on a scale of 1 to 10? From not going to happen to definitely going to happen. They've put a 9. This person is committed.
This person's going to do it. I want to find out who this person is.
I love that. If you are this person and you want to come out, and I suppose it's like the point is they don't want anyone to know.
I guess you're right. They want to be our Batman. They want to be the hero we deserve, not the hero we need right now. So we're going to hunt them. We are the hunters of them, though, Wilkie. That's our job in this. We are the GCPD.
I suppose we are, but I feel like we gotta let them go out in the world and do their good. We gotta follow in their footsteps. The bottom question was, any other thoughts? Just, is there anything else you want to say? Some of the funnier ones from this were, is it really New Year's already? Wake me in 2021. I feel this person maybe meant to say wake me in 2022. But this person's going to take about a week-long nap, and then they want to be woken up when it's 2021. Someone just put a question mark.
A week-long? That's rookie numbers, man. Come on.
Yeah.
You got to get those numbers up.
Yes, someone just said, any other thoughts? Question mark. I don't know. None of us know. But this
I don't have any thoughts. My thoughts just a question mark.
Batman here.
I'm the Riddler.
Yes, the Riddler. Batman here has said, I never usually do a New Year's resolution. Last year, it was to be the kind of person I was when I was happiest, and that didn't work out too great. So I'm trying to make my New Year's resolution to not focus on me, but to focus on what I can do to put good vibes into the universe, even if it's small and silly. And I think that's beautiful, because trying to be the person you are when you're happiest is noble. That's a good goal to have, but sometimes you aren't at your happiest, and framing that as a failure won't help, I don't think. So I think New Year's resolutions, promising to like look after yourself, like look after your brain and like look after your body better, those are good, right? Take care of yourself. But I think New Year's resolutions should be about other people, because failing yourself, like if you don't manage to do your New Year's resolution, like that failure could, just make things worse. But if you promise to just like in little ways, whenever you can, to try and put good vibes out into the universe, and if everyone does that, then everyone has a better time.
Yeah, that's how I feel about things. I just feel like if you're gonna do good, you should do good, because it's good for everybody. There's no reason to not be nice. And because I don't often come up with a New Year's resolution, because I feel like you're right. When you come up with, I think also coming up with one about yourself, it's easy to not do it, because at the end of the day, the only person that you're cheating out is yourself. So potentially coming up with something related to somebody else, even if it's a small thing, it could be just to be like, and it doesn't have to be another person. It could be just a creature. It could be like, I'm going to take my dog for a walk every day. Maybe for some reason you've not been able to take your dog for a walk for a bit, and you're like, well, I'm going to commit to it, because that's really awesome, because then
it's hard to go outside these days, honestly.
But you might yes, it is for a lot of people, but potentially you're going to mask up, do whatever you're allowed to do in your local area, and or at least when things open up, maybe you'll go for a walk every day. I think sometimes New Year's resolutions can be good to delay. I know one year I had a resolution which I didn't stick to, because again, this is one I made for myself. But my resolution was, when I start running, I'm not going to stop. So when I start running, I'm going to maintain a schedule of it. Because I didn't want to start running in January, maybe because it's cold and I'd find a reason to stop. So it was like, okay, even if I don't start running until April, when I start, I won't stop. So again, it's like, okay, when I can take my dog for a walk, I'm going to do it. And the reason why that would be good is then your dog gets to benefit. You aren't just holding yourself to going for a walk and doing a bit of exercise for yourself. You're also going to take your dog on a little exercise. It's going to experience the outside world and get all these things that an animal needs. Maybe you could take your cat or your gerbil for a walk. I don't know whether that's safe or sensible, but you could do that too if you don't have a dog.
That'd be cute. Take your gerbil for a walk.
Can you take gerbils for a walk? That's a Google question to ask.
That's a Google question. I wonder if Wilco has responded to my tweet yet.
I don't know. Anyone? Oh wait, okay. Reddit.com. Anyone have any experience with walking gerbils outside? Let me see this.
Go for it.
I really, really want to walk my gerbils this summer, but I'm afraid gerbils aren't as much of the walking type, and I don't want my little babies to die. I mean, rats walk on your rats walk on your shoulders, no problem, but I can see my babies just like falling because they're not the smartest.
Oh,
anyway,
no.
Is it okay to walk your gerbils outside? Does it harm them? Anyone has any experience with that? The top response, which has 3 points, is, I don't know why. This is very interesting. This is on r/gerbil.
Okay, so this is a very niche community.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to do more on r/gerbil in a minute, but it's like the top answer is not safe at all. Gerbils are essentially a liquid and can wiggle out of anything you put them in, and once that happens, they're gone. Now, below it is another answer from a gerbil owner. They have the Reddit flair for this subreddit as gerbil owner. So Gerbil74, who was the person above, didn't have this flair, but Eurofi below does.
They're just a fan. Gerbil74 is just a fanboy of gerbils. And
this gets worse, Wilkie. Eurofi replies, and if they can't wiggle out of it because it's super tight, they will still try, and friction burns can easily kill a small creature.
No! Hamish, how do
Deleted says, I wouldn't recommend walking a gerbil on a leash outside or on the pavement or anything with a capitalized A. There are cats and dogs out there that will sniff them out and such. Also, their poor little paws will get sore and on the rough ground like that, and they seem a little small to actually walk. Maybe just stick to walking them indoors and let them run free a little. I let mine crawl over my shoulders and on the sofa, and sometimes put them in a running ball. Smiley's face.
Oh, my hamster used to have a little running wall. It was good stuff. Because you'd lose them, like they'd trundle off, and you'd stop focusing for a second, and they'd trundle away, and then you'd be like, oh no, where are they? And you just hear a very loud clonk, 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 and it's like, okay, they're trying to get into one of the cupboards in the kitchen or something, and they're just like ramming this little ball into the wall or something. Or they're trying to get behind the TV or something, and the ball won't go, so they just clonk.
That was really fun. Though, they mention in this comment that dogs and cats out there will sniff them out and such. Maybe the dogs and cats want to sniff them out and have a play. There's no guarantee they want to kill them.
That'd be quite sweet. It'd be cute to have a little gerbil like playing with a big old dog. I've found this same Reddit post, and there's someone at the bottom who says that they have a gerbil called Gandalf. And I like that a lot. Good. I like Gandalf the gerbil. Is it technically Jandalf?
Yes.
Gandalf the gerbil. Jandalf the gerbil.
This subreddit has 5.5k members.
Top posts of all time.
Now, what's the top post on r/gerbils?
It's a gerbil yawning. And the title is, ever had a yawn so big you had to charge it up first? And there's this gerbil like charging up a big old yawn like some sort of anime maneuver. Whoa! That's a real sleepy gerbil right there.
He's gonna do a yoni hameha or a kame yoneha. That might be better. I don't know.
Or a kamehame.
Okay, that's the good bit. I knew that everyone. It's a little video. This gerbil doing a yawn.
This is so good.
It's in a little tub as well.
I was planning on potentially streaming tonight, so maybe we'll just spend some time looking at r/gerbils.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's stream tonight and just do Wilkie and Hamish just explore r/gerbils. Is there a way for you to get my picture up on this stream so we can do it together?
We can certainly try. Yeah, there's no reason why we can't mess about on it.
Okay. Well, Wilkie, let's do that. And if you're listening to this later, you almost certainly are listening to this podcast later. There's no way you can be listening to this live. I don't know why I said if you are, because you're either listening to it later or not at all. If you've done that, you will probably be able to find a YouTube version or a Twitch clip of us scrolling through r/gerbils, and maybe we'll go on to other Reddit forums. Who knows? Maybe we'll do, the world is our oyster right now. It's the new year. It's been a rough one, 2020, really has been, but there has been some good stuff out there, and we've tried to find some of it at least, and we hope that maybe we're part of the good of 2020, because this show kicked off this year. We'd like to thank you so much for listening to this special New Year's Eve episode of Boy Review. If you've got any fun New Year's resolutions of your own, perhaps you missed the census, you can tweet at us. Make sure you include the hashtag Boy Review. Maybe put hashtag resolution as well on top of that. From earlier, we also have hashtag Boy Review, hashtag sneeze.
Sneeze,
yeah. Do you want to say which demographic of people have the loudest sneeze?
If you agree with me that history teachers and dads have the loudest sneezes, let me know.
Yes. And if you maybe aren't a Twitter user and you like Instagram, you can check out our Instagram at Boy Review. We posted some great stuff for Christmas, a little advent calendar that Wilkie prepared for us. And we'll be getting back with regular posts that are a bit more like our usual style coming up as well. But even if it's not Christmas anymore, it's worth looking back over what 12 things we thought were good about Christmas. If you're liking the show, make sure to give us a like, a subscribe, and all of the stuff, whatever platform you're on, whether that's YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, really anything. We're on everywhere. And I think that's it. Make sure you share us with your friends.
Please do share us with your friends. Our New Year's resolution is to get big in 2021. This podcast is going viral.
This podcast is going to hit the gym, get the biggest muscles it can. We're going to be able to bench 5 Joe Rogan experiences.
We're going to be able to...
That's this podcast's goal.
We're going to be able to bench a viewer count of in 3 digits. Wouldn't that be cool to get like triple digit like consistent listens in 2021?
That would be cool. And we're going to try and do it, Wilkie. That's 52 episodes. Let's go. We've done it. We've done a good number of those already. So let's close out the show. So goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
See ya.
that's all, folks.